We are dragging so much on that anchor.
We spent 4 years rebuilding this boat with one dream in mind: to sail, to go places, to move with the wind, to live the adventure. As romantic as it sounds, we don't always want the boat to be roaming free. Because if we dream on sailing and going places, that also means we dream of anchoring and staying in those places. Anchoring isn't the most exciting part of sailing. You see open sails on postcards, not anchors. But the truth is, the adventure wouldn't be possible without them. Today we're going to dive deep into that part of the story, because if anchors are in charge of keeping the boat safe, then they're also the ones keeping the dream alive.
Hi guys, welcome back. Today we're going to go over something that I've been wanting to go over and do this in trial and error for the longest time. You might have noticed in some videos that we have more than one big anchor on the boat. The thing is, our plan now is to leave this island and head up the coast of Brazil, where we're going to come across a lot deeper anchorages, and we're probably going to have to shelter from some heavy winds and big waves in areas that aren't as sheltered as this. Will we just be able to use 50 meters of chain and our anchor, or will we have to move over to a spare anchor with 200 meters of anchor road, or will we have to go over to our third anchor? Before we get into it, don't forget to subscribe to this channel. You'll see exactly when we're posting episodes and what, and it really supports us as well, and it's completely free for you guys. In the past, I always said or thought we don't need a swivel for our anchor because we tend to not anchor for that long in one go anyway. I was wrong. The more you anchor, the more frequently you anchor. Each time you anchor, you can add one twist into the chain, and over time that builds up. The reason I didn't want the swivel is it's kind of a weak link in the chain. But then we came across a Mantis swivel. For us to install this swivel, which I am super excited for, we're going to weigh anchor. That is going to mean with this anchor lifted and on deck, while we're working on it, we're going to be adrift. But luckily, as I said before, we have two other anchors that we can play with, and I'm really excited to see how easy and secure we can be off our reserve anchors. So let's get this anchor up, head out, and have some fun. The plan now, as we are literally drifting, is to get this in the water. Today is the best day to be doing all this anchor testing because we've got some extra strong hands on board. This is Toby. He is your grandmother, is my mother's first cousin.
Yeah.
And here we go, we've got an extra hand to pull up the anchor. There are two main problems with this anchor. One is only good for one wind direction. When the wind changes, it doesn't reset properly. Okay. Explain what the problem is.
We are drifting, so we are not stuck to one place, and then the drone keeps moving against the boat. So actually, we are moving against the drone.
All right, let's try this again. The first big problem with this anchor is it's good for one wind direction, which means if there's a storm, strong south wind, you throw the anchor and it holds. When the wind changes, it doesn't reset. Secondly, it's just big and clunky and it sticks out in every direction. The last thing we want is for us to lower the anchor and have to be quickly making sure there's no knots over here. So what we're going to do is something we'll probably do every time before lowering this anchor is lay out a nice S shape on the deck so that when it's being lowered, we can check. It's about, 10 meters? We can do 10 per 10 meters and just make sure none of this turns into a knot. I just measured that from the pile of road until the first diesel cap, it's 6 fathoms. What is a fathom? It's 6 feet. Why is it 6 feet? It's practically from one tip of your finger to the other. Whee! And that's how they used to do it in the old days. We've gone there and back twice with this road, which means we've got 4 lines or 4 lengths of road, which gives us 24 fathoms. And we didn't just invent fathoms. 1 fathom was a measuring unit that they used in the early sailing or nautical or navy days, which measured the depth your boat is in, how deep is it here, but also how much distance of anchor road you're going to throw out into the water, and that was fathoms. So let's try with this. give it a good reverse, see how we hold, and that's just a test. And it's going down. Now the worst thing, or the last thing you want, is for your anchor rod to sit on top of the anchor and just cause a big knot. So we're going to try and let the wind push the boat away, or push the bow away, while I'm keeping the rope in a straight line from this pulley down to the anchor. Put it on a little brake. Okay, how cool is that? Now, it's a straight boat, we can continue. Okay. And then we do a reverse test.
I just had an idea that for us to make sure that we're not dragging, the best way would be to look at the anchor. So maybe you can dive there and look if it's stuck or dragging.
I'm quite curious about that. That's good in practice, but I've got to go and find that anchor.
You mean it?
Yeah, let's go.
I was joking. Would you like to say any last words?
So Toby, this is tropical. I'm dreading it.
How is it?
The anchor. I've asked MP to go reverse. I didn't know we threw out that much rope. It's massive. Yeah?
Yeah!
Dragging quite a bit. Neutral! Okay, let's head back. Oh well, we've got to figure that out now. We are dragging so much on that anchor. How many revs back did you do?
I did 15 and then 10.
Okay, so we don't know why we weren't dragging in the beginning. But it's nice that MP wanted to make a joke and say head down there to be funny. Because I've realized it's not the weight of the anchor or the rod or the shape of the anchor. It's that the, let's call them spades, are too far out. So they won't dig into the sand. If somehow you can get that anchor to close the angle of the spades, they'll dig in a lot better. So that's definitely something that's going to be put very high on our list right now.
Should have been a cowboy.
This is the idea, still to be improved. I told you that one of the big disadvantages of this Mexican style anchor is the way it sticks out and is very inconvenient. There is one more anchor that is even more inconvenient, and that is the Kedge anchor, which we have over here. So there's no way of storing this on the boat. So we're going to do the same thing. We've got a spare rope over here. We're going to have that hang over. I'm going to chuck that into the water and see how that drags. This is going to be a beautiful Kedge, sunset Kedge anchor drop. Just like in the old days, they would cross oceans, find new islands, and just drop this type of anchor in places they had no idea what they were. They didn't even know what country they're in. That's how old these anchors are. Maybe not stainless steel, but I'm quite curious to see how this works. What's going to happen?
Oh, God knows. It's beyond my knowledge.
I think we've always said that we didn't want this anchor, only the Mexican, because the Mexican is so good, blah, blah, blah. The Mexican didn't show its value today, and I think this one will. Like, you know, those stories,
Yeah.
the unvalued one.
The ugly duckling.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
My main reason of keeping this is it just looks epic. I mean, look at it. It's like we have a real pirate ship. Without this, we wouldn't have a pirate ship. Just so you guys have an idea of how long we've been working on all of this. The sun is going down now. So we're going to test this one, jump in the water, and then I cannot wait to test that swivel out. There. Okay, now it's just going to tighten and then we'll go into reverse. Oh, should I go straight into the water? Yes, wetsuit on. Looking good. That's looking better than the other one finally. It's dug under the sand. Reverse!
Let's see if the, I don't want to call it ugly duckling, if the anchor will hold.
The rope is tightening. Stop! It looked good in the beginning, but I don't know. It's digs in and then it just jumps out. That's funny. Initially, I thought it was doing better because when we went down, the spade was in the sand. And when I gave MP the green light to go in reverse, it kind of dug deep and then just jumped out and then slid across the seabed and then dug itself in again. So comment, help us out with this. I mean, what do you think? They're spare anchors. They're not our main anchor, of course, but I would like them to at least be able to hold.
You're forgetting to say heave.
Lemon squeezy.
Heave. Heave.
Need a shanty.
Heave. Heave.
If you want to know the secret to being able to heave like we did, it's this top over here, which is in our shop right now. You can buy them until the stock lasts. We've spent a long time looking at the quality we like. And not only that, how cool is that drawing that Taj drew us from Sailing Catalpa? Look at that. We'll put the link in the description if you're interested. Go and have a look. Super, super cool. UV proof. Cool in the sun and warm in the afternoons.
Over there somewhere is where we started and then drifted all the way here.
Another lasso.
So many! Look! I could see its eye!
After a long sleepless night thinking about how we can be safe with 2 dragging spare anchors, I thought giving these another shot would not be a bad idea. What we did yesterday was the right thing: throw it in the water, give it a good reverse, and it should dig in. Of course, a storm situation isn't going to be very forgiving. It's not going to be like, hang on, don't engage reverse, don't put too much tension on the anchor, but I would like to play around with them a little bit. So I'm going to go down again and just analyze a bit, because I want to really know why these aren't working. Worst case scenario, we get rid of both of them and we get a good second spare anchor instead of this. Same thing we're going to do with the Kedge anchor. Let's chuck that in and try again. We've just engaged reverse, nothing more, and it doesn't look like we're dragging. We're using the plotter as a reference. I'm going to jump in right now, see what the anchor looks like. Then I'll kind of shout or wave to MP to start increasing the reverse throttle and see what happens with the anchor, which is a test we didn't do yesterday. Holding pretty firmly. I just want to understand, will it now, with a little increase in reverse, dig deeper or jump out? We can go a bit faster.
Now we are just engaged and Ben says it's holding, so I'm going to accelerate just a tiny bit. This is like 700 revs, and now 10.
It's moving millimeters, go to 15. 1.5.
Sun is moving millimeters and told me to go to 15.
Hear it.
Yeah, neutral, but I don't have a feedback.
Reverse, engaged, held. 1000 was inching its way backwards, and I can even see the boat moving backwards now because this 1500 revs just popped out. What we really want with this anchor is the more force on it, just like in a storm or waves. We want to be digging deeper and not wanting to come up. Back in the water again. Gonna check on the Kedge anchor, and then we've got one more time, which is gonna be my favorite, to show you how the Bruce works, which is our primary anchor. How's your free diving?
Yeah, it's getting better.
Okay, found the anchor, can engage reverse. Okay, go to 1000, we're holding.
We're holding, go to 1000. That's what he said.
2000 is inching its way forwards a little bit faster than the Mexican style anchor. Go 2,500.
Now we'll go to 1,500.
Neutral! Both of them do the same at 1,500. Okay, turn the engine off.
I really had faith in our ugly duckling. That is not ugly, that is the coolest anchor. If you draw an anchor, it's the coolest design, but if it doesn't hold, what's the use for us? Who told me to have an 88-foot boat that weighs something around 50 tons, right?
It's a shame about those two anchors, but at the same time, if you think about reversing 1,000 revs, I don't know how much wind that will simulate, but I think that is quite a bit still. What I can envision now is, I think we're definitely going to change the angle of the spades on the Mexican style anchor. And I don't know, but I think the ugly duckling, we might store it somewhere else or sell it, but swap it for something a bit better and a bit more reliable. That's something that I'm thinking of right now. But knowing how these two anchors worked, this gives us even more reason to make sure a primary anchor, which is our Bruce at the moment, works marvelously, splendid, and without a worry. What we're gonna do as our first step to turn this into a beast is, how are we going to do it? We're going to somehow get the anchor onto the deck and add a swivel to our anchor. Over time, our chain has started twisting, and I want to avoid having the danger of the chain escaping from the windlass. It took us a while, but we found a swivel that I can trust. And listen to this. I trust this strength of this swivel more than the actual shackle and the chain. The one we have gone for is a Mantis Marine or Mantis Anchors swivel. This one exactly can hold up to 3.2 tons, which is more than our chain. So I feel really, really good having this at the end of our ground tackle over here. Once this is all done, I cannot wait, just like with the other anchors, to lower it and go swimming down and show you guys how it can go into like 1 million revs in reverse and it still holds.
I am a little bit disappointed because I always envisioned us installing the swivel underwater while diving, but imagine, we remove the shackle and then the anchor is on the bottom, the chain is loose, and then what? We have to hold the weight of
It's like the
Yabá,
Spider-Man scene of holding two buildings together.
trying to install the swivel, so yeah, it doesn't make sense. So having to bring the anchor on deck it is.
Pull. There we go. This is our until now trustworthy Bruce anchor. The only issue, of course, was that it didn't have a swivel, which kind of put lots of twist in the chain and made the chain a bit weaker. I would one day like to improve or upgrade this Bruce anchor to a Mantis M2 50 kilograms, but until they allow me to travel with a 52 kilo or a 50 kilo anchor, this is gonna have to do for now. So goodbye old shackle, and let's say hello to a brand new swivel. Farewell. The reason we didn't want a swivel in the first place is because the swivel is often the weakest link between the chain and the anchor, but this swivel is stronger than the breaking point of the chain. What's really good is it's not only easy to mount and unmount. If you think about it, the yearly inspection, or whenever you want to inspect it, you just have to remove this pin and you can open it and see how it's holding up. It's so strong that it depends on its own system. So no matter how far you pull, just by lightly screwing this on with a piece of Teflon tape in the middle and this pin in here, you could get away with anything. And it's a piece of cake to put together. I guess that didn't fit through. How cool is that? I think there is only one more thing to do, and that is to get this into the water. And I don't know about you, but this seems like overkill. But isn't that what you want when your boats or your night's rest is dependent on it? Few moving parts, stronger than the chain, and it looks epic. It's just a shame that we're not going to be seeing this very often. It's just going to be sat on the seabed for the fish to admire. What's really cool about this is the anchor can sit really deeply in the sand or the mud or wherever you're anchored, and this can start twisting as much as you want, and the swivel will just turn with it without causing this whole chain to get twirled up and getting weaker.
We're all riding down the same road, looking for the same old signs, hugging curves and dodging potholes, trying to make up time. We're all looking for the answers, asking questions about life.
Good. The only thing that could have happened badly that I can imagine or think of was that the swivel would be too fat to fit through the arch of the anchor support, but it fits perfectly. So let's lift up this Kedge anchor and throw the Bruce, and I'll show you how this works.
Mostly it's somewhere in between your nightmares and all your crazy dreams. But if you got what you need, you can kick back and enjoy that ride. 'Cause sometimes we all go.
Ready for another swim? Now it's time for us to head down and go and show you how this Bruce anchor sits in the sand, and also I really want to show you the functioning of this swivel.
Sometimes it goes the other way. Mostly it's somewhere in between your nightmares and all your crazy dreams. But if you got what you need, you can kick back and enjoy that ride.
We have found the Bruce anchor a lot closer to the boat. The big advantage of having chain is that you need to put out a lot less distance, because the chain itself weighs down and keeps the anchor horizontal. Okay, you can engage reverse.
Engage. And when you feel the boat is straightening up, then go to 1,500. Nice.
That's holding very, very neatly. It's on its side, but it's scooped up loads of sand. Now I'm not going to show you guys the swivel while there's so much tension on it. And P has been in 1,500 revs reversed. Just flicked it into neutral now. Now I'm going to just show you that swivel. It is so cool to see the swivel working underwater. Not only did I already just manage to turn it a bit with my hands, but I've noticed in this 20 meters of chain that we've put out, which is hardly anything, I've noticed that initially it had some twists in it, and since MP did that 1,500 rev reverse, it already untwisted because the tension put in it makes the swivel do its work. So that's going to be really, really cool. Knowing that that swivel's there, knowing that there's not going to be a twisted chain, and knowing that we can lower and raise the anchor without being worried that it was going to slip on the gypsy is going to be a very big peace of mind. Guys, this episode was so important to us. I don't know if you can notice. We have thrown out our spare anchors. We know their limits. We know what to change mostly. But guys, if you have a boat, do this as well. Throw your anchors in the water, test them, know their limits, know when you can use them. And if you need to make upgrades, do them as well. So that's what we're going to work on now. We want to have some really good, reliable anchors on board. Thank you so much, Toby, for helping us out. And thank you so much, Isa. Thank you so much for flying over and bringing us this swivel. We're going to sleep like a baby tonight knowing we're nice and safe. And if you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to click the like button. And if you want to subscribe to see what we're posting and what episodes come when, just hit that subscribe button. It's completely free and it really supports us a lot. See you soon.